From behind the scenes of a talented community artist to what we can expect from Hytale and more, don't miss out on the latest Hycast, starting right now.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Hycast, the premier Hytale podcast. I'm your host Fezzi, and today we're joined by Swifty. Welcome to the podcast. We're glad to have you with us.
Hey.
So, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you see yourself within the Hytale community?
Hi, I'm Swifty. I'm a Hytale fan artist. I've been in the community for about 3 months or so. I'm also the manager of HyCreations on Twitter, and I'm a member / helper of the Blue Wind Network.
Very cool. So, you're known for your unique fan art posts on Twitter and Reddit, which primarily consist of things like vector art, which has caused you to adopt this particular style. And did you ever expect it to be this well received by the community?
Oh, no, not at all. I posted my first stuff thinking no one would ever see it, and then out of the blue I started getting likes. Like my first vector art got 100 likes, which is my most viewed post, most liked post ever, which is just really surprising.
Well, hey, I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. So, as an artist, you're pretty creative and got good attention to detail as seen in your fan arts. Do you plan on expanding your skill set and learning how to make, say, Hytale models, or are you more keen to stick to fan art for now?
For now, I'm going to stay with fan art, but closer to the release of Hytale, I'm probably going to start getting into model making to help with Blue Wind and some personal projects I might want to do.
That's fair enough. So, what would you start with when it comes to making models if you were to make models? What would be your first project?
To be honest, most of it would be stuff for Blue Wind, models, because it's a big project. But other than that, personal projects, I was thinking of doing some sort of weapon mod pack, but I have no idea.
Fair enough. So there are various different styles when it comes to making art, being it drawings, cartoon art, or painting creations that look like they came from a gallery. Which styles do you personally prefer the most and why?
I've always been a fan of more cartoony styles. I feel like you can detail characters and backgrounds a lot more in a style like this compared to art styles like paintings, because there's a lot more lining, which makes details really easier. That's
fair. So, out of all the creations that you have made, which one is your personal favorite, and why is it special to you?
Recently I made a vector art of the undead chicken from the latest blog posts, and I like this one because some people compared it to, the cursus act in a nutshell bird?
I think I do.
Yeah, and they said it reminds them of that art style, and they've been an inspiration for me for a while. I've always admired their art style, and that was really cool.
Oh, well, that's great to hear. So, let's hop into HyCreations. You mentioned that you're involved with a community called HyCreations. For those who don't know about it, could you explain about what it is, what your role is within it, and in the Hytale community?
So HyCreations is a Reddit, or a subreddit, and a Twitter page. The subreddit is mostly just posting your creations, and the Twitter, it showcases the best Hytale related creations from that week. Mostly it's fan art, but it can go from the recent Power by Hypack, which I think is really cool.
Okay, so like you mentioned, it's kind of a weekly thing. What do you look for when searching for art to appear in the list? What parameters make something showcase worthy?
Most of the time I just go through #HytaleFanArt, but most of the time it's just, finding something that's for the community. I try to step away from stuff for servers because most of that's just personal and, it's not really a creation, it's something they've made for something that they're planning on doing.
That's fair. So what are you planning to do with HyCreations in the future? Is there anything different that we can expect to see when Hytale comes out?
So right now there's not many long-term plans. I'm just going to keep doing what's happening right now until I think of something else that I could do. There's not really much I think I can branch into. Maybe when Hytale comes out we could start doing creation contests, but I have no idea.
That's fair.
Depends on what the community wants.
Right. So let's move on to Hytale expectations. So the Hytale developers have recently resumed work, having just returned from their well-deserved Christmas breaks. What are your expectations regarding the end product of Hytale? Do you believe it will be as good as everyone expects it to be, or not?
So far, what we've seen from Hytale, it actually looks like a really good game. The mechanic, well, we've only seen most of, like, mechanics, not really most of the story. But from what we've seen, it actually looks like a very good game that has a lot of potential. The fact that they're focusing on, being able to help people create things is just, it makes me think that this game will be still here, like, 30 years from now.
Right, because community content is something that can drive a game forever. Great example being Gary's Mod is one that's just like, that game was literally created just to be changed, and it is still alive to this day, and it's been around forever. So, what are some things that you're worried about and excited about specifically when it comes to Hytale?
What I'm worried about is that some people in the community might have higher expectations than the creators think that they do. And this might make people think it's underwhelming, which I don't understand. This game seems like it's going to be great, and I don't know. The community seems like it's a bit iffy on it.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of differentiating opinions, but I think everyone's pretty excited for the game. Everyone's definitely anticipating seeing the end product for sure. And in the original Hytale trailer, we were briefly shown a custom character creator. How customizable do you expect it to be? Do you believe importing your own hair and clothing will be possible, or doing something similar to Minecraft where you can just change anything, or do you think it's going to be more like Minecraft Bedrock Edition where it's a set of pre-made items that you can just switch around?
I feel the single player character creation will be set to boundaries. But like servers and multiplayer, I feel like we'll be able to be more diverse in that, and we'll be able to import our own stuff.
That's actually an interesting perspective, yeah.
Yeah, because then things like skins are possible.
Yeah,
for servers.
That makes sense. They did mention they want to have like themable servers be possible, and that I've never actually heard anyone say that it might be different between modes in the game. That's actually a pretty interesting idea. So we've been told to expect many great features in Hytale, such as live scripting, for example, built-in world editing tools, and of course the model maker. Do you expect Hytale to arrive with all the promised features on release, or do you think it's something that may not be ready for the 2021 deadline?
So this game, as we know, it has been in development for like 4 or 5 years, and this team seems very passionate about it. This seems like a very big passion project, which I think this means that the team they know what their limitations are and they know what they're doing. I feel like this 2021 deadline might actually be after what actually happens, so it might come out earlier than that.
Could be.
I feel like they're just trying to set a basis for their latest point.
Yeah, that, and they did mention that deadline can move. They can change it based on their needs. But yeah, I think they have the best idea out of anyone on when their own game's going to come out. So, and they are aware of just the sheer amount of hype surrounding the game. So they're not going to want to release something that is lackluster. So I think they're going to prep it as much as humanly possible. So do you think, regarding the release, Hytale will be postponed if something wasn't ready, or do you think that they'll release it sometime in 2021, no matter what, possibly like a beta, just to get Hytale out?
Honestly, I think it will definitely come out in 2021, and I do think that a beta is possible in 2020. It would be like the beta signups have been there for over a year now, and I feel if we don't get a beta, I don't see why it would be there if we weren't getting a beta.
True.
So I think at some point in 2020 we're getting a beta, and for it being postponed, I doubt it. The team really looks like they know what they're doing.
That's fair. So let's move on to something that we haven't done much in the past, and that's community questions, which is a segment where we bring in questions from the community every week. So you've been part of Hytale for a long time now. What in general got you interested in Hytale, and what made you want to become a part of the community? So
I saw the Hytale trailer maybe 2 months after it came out. I honestly didn't think much of it. I thought it looked like a cool game, but I didn't really get into the community back then. And then I remembered it about 4 months ago, and I watched it again. I'm like, actually, this seems like it's going to be a good game, like legit.
Yeah.
So I started going on Twitter, seeing what was happening, and I saw a lot of fan art.
Yeah.
I was like, this is cool. I actually want to do this, and I did. I started doing it, and I adopted the vector art style a bit after, because in school we were doing vector art in my graphics class, and it was good. I really liked it during then, so I was like, why not?
Well, that's cool. So was making art kind of in general something you've been doing since you were a kid, or if not, what inspired you to get into the idea of making art?
So I've been making logos for like 8 years or so. I've been mostly it's just been in paint.net because I haven't had the money to buy any actual other programs. Fair. But yeah, I've been doing art sort of things for a while, and you know, there's always the whole like doodling in your book and shit. Most people do that, and yeah.
Okay.
It's mostly just comes down to that logo designing has made me feel like I could do other stuff.
All right. I actually have a pretty similar thing, which I can kind of, I feel that because that's how I kind of got into media creation, was a Photoshop class I took in like middle school. So that's pretty cool. So now, a big question to finish it off. What will you do first when Hytale finally comes out? Are you going to instantly join a server, or are you going to hop into adventure mode?
First thing, I'm definitely gonna do. I'm gonna go a while into the single player. I want to experience what they've wanted us to do first before I see everything else that they want us to make.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense, because they obviously want, this is obviously not like Minecraft. There is a storyline that we will be following. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. It's going to be interesting to see what they have waiting for us. So with all that said, that is all the questions we had for today. If there's anything else you would like to say, social such, feel free to do so now.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter, and I guess follow me on Reddit. I don't really have anything else, to be honest.
That's fair.
I do fan art and stuff. Follow me.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And make sure to follow Swifty on Twitter. All of his links will be in the description below. Thank you for tuning into this week's podcast, and make sure you subscribe if you would like to hear more. This has been your host, Fezzy the Frog, and we'll be seeing you next time.
This video was sponsored by Virtual Gladiators. Virtual Gladiators have everything you need to make your very own Minecraft or Hytale server. Click the link in the description to find out more.